Hello, my name is SoundNinja, and today is the day that everyone decides just to wake up and throw money at me and congratulate me for being alive. So with that, I decided I want to make a free beat on every single occasion, just like this, my birthday, for you guys, for free, entirely for free. So if you guys want to download it, no kind of like waiting around, it's down in the description. Go ahead and go down, download it, completely free. If you want to, you can consider actually buying the track for like $5 or so if you want to support me. That would be super helpful and awesome, but you don't have to. It's also completely free. Just please credit me if you do use the track. I really like it. I've actually already created it. The video corrupted, and I basically am re-recording this for the third time because it corrupted twice. Figured out what the issue was. Now I'm here. It's a really awesome beat. I hope you guys really enjoy it. You're gonna see a lighting change. It's gonna be 2 hours ago, so there's gonna be daylight behind me instead. It's all just kind of freehand, doing it right then and there, aside from this part, which I had to actually go back and record. Everything you're about to see is just me creating for creating's sake. Hope you guys enjoy. So what I basically just did was I created a gross beat only on my violins track, just to kind of give it some different change of flow and different kind of tone inside the drop. Basically, I wanted it to kind of sound a little bit more like, I guess kind of like electronic or distorted for the violins, so it's not just all organic, but I also like the organic feel that I'm going for right now anyways. So it's been about an hour, and I didn't really have any input while I was making the beat because I'm kind of just freestyling this entire thing. I'm going to go ahead and break down the beat, and then we're going to go ahead and take a last listen, and then that'll be it. So as you guys saw, I kind of deleted the MIDI. I made the violin just right here. And when I made that violin, I basically just exported it to audio. I did it 3 times in different variations, including a staccato version and also 2 regular ones. For the drums, it's just some simple processing on the actual kick. It's got a transient processor, it has a fruity EQ on it, and it also has a soft clipper to stop me from going way over the threshold. For the snare, it's very similar. I just have some reverb on it. You can see right here what I have done to it, with a very light decay time and a little bit of actual delay. It has an EQ on it just to give it some more strength in that mid-range and also take away all that bass frequency. And then a soft clipper to top it off just so I don't go overboard with the snare. Hi-hats are a similar deal. There's some simple processing on it and also a little bit of some actual enveloping through FL Studio itself, taking away all the low, boosting a little bit of the highs with the actual reverb, and then also boosting more of the highs with an EQ because it still wasn't bright enough. I also added a percussion underneath the hi-hat, which is this little kind of riding snare. It has a delay, which is a really cool plugin that I just now recently found. Super awesome. It's free. I recommend you guys go and download it. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to go download this VST. It's got OTT. You can see the settings right there. And it's got an A1 trigger gate on it. This is becoming one of my favorite gates to use for anything I do musically. That sounds like this. I already arranged the beat, but you guys can see kind of the progression. We'll go through this in just a second too. I have a steady build all the way up to here, and then it's going to drop, and I have a little bit of change in the drums and also the actual just steady rhythm I was doing. On the drop itself, it has a little bit of syncopation to kind of add a little bit more rhythm and swing. The last thing I added to the actual drop is another percussive loop I just got from Cymatics. I threw it in there. It's a dubstep loop, but I thought it fit really well for this kind of beat. The piano, you guys saw me make that at the very beginning. I wrote out some notes and then I quantized it and put it to the timing I wanted. On the piano, I also have a delay. with these settings right here. I have an OTT, and then I EQ'd some of that low end to make room for the bass later, and took away some of the high end too, just to kind of clean up some of the frequencies. On the violins themselves, after I exported them to audio and then mixed them all together, I put an Auburn Sounds Panogrammate 2 on it, which this is becoming one of my favorite spatial reverbs I have ever used, and it's super, super nice. It is free also. Go download it. There's no reason not to download this. It's super nice. All of them mixing together makes this really cool sound and kind of wash of noise over top of you. The next thing I made is the 808s. On the actual channel for the 808s, there's an OTT, a Fruity Parametric 2, a Maximus, and a Fruity Limiter for sidechaining the kick on top of this. Here are the settings for all of those. Limiter, I put the ceiling all the way at the top, and then I sidechained track 1, which is my kick, from here. The bass then sounds like this right here. Oh, and then here's also the actual preset and what I did to it inside Flex. I just took up the compression and I changed the crush just a little bit. And then I also added a little bit of a attack filter just so that way I didn't have so much clipping and popping. There's a little bit of reduce also turned on this bass. Then I did some simple arrangement. I added an intro starting with the violin, going into the piano, then going into the higher violin, to staccato, having the drums, everything build. And then I made this little riser right here out of a Cymatics riser pack, basically. I did some simple effects to the riser. This is my go-to settings on my Reverb 2, just to have any kind of really cool atmospheric drony kind of drop. It sounds like this right here. It's a super stretched out sample just by Cymatics. That's all I did to it. And then I just shoved it in there. I did a little bit of EQing to the riser as well, just so that way it wasn't so harsh with how bad it sounded. And then put a soft clipper on it, and now it's in the song. The beat progresses through a basically 16 bar loop of the actual track with a little variation here and there. And then it goes back into a sub drop, and then I add a different variation on the second bass for the second drop. Super heavy bass line. One of my favorite bass lines I've actually ever made. It's super cool. Alright, the last thing I did was a lot of automation. Oh my gosh. I did a lot of automation to this. You can see here I have a few different things going. I have gross beats, changing the beat up just a little bit on the violins when the actual violins drop. And then I have another gross beat that adds even more change to the violins. There's a Lux verb on the actual violins too. I keep saying actual. The Lux verb just has the shimmer, octave shimmer right here pad, and then I put it off of decay. And then I have it just basically revving in, kind of creating these cool swells with the violins also on top of having that riser that I made as well. There is a volume cut for the lead and the violin so that the bass can really punch through on the second drop and really make it heavy. And then the last part is some trigger gates just to give the violins a little bit more energy in that second drop and add some different changes. And Luxembourg comes back in, adds some more high end for the second, third, different kind of outro. Alright, and then the last thing I did was I used Omnisphere to make this vocal pad right here. just so I could add a lot more life to the actual end of the song, so I could really crescendo the entire beat, so it kind of has that feeling of moving and progression and kind of that build of tension that everyone wants to hear. Now let's take a listen to the entire track and its fullness. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, in the description, you'll be able to find the download link to this song. If, however, you want to support me, please consider also buying the track for like $5 or so. It'll be on my Beat store. Other than that, thank you guys so much. This has been my 23rd birthday, and I could not be here without you guys supporting me and doing my music stuff. Much love. Thank you guys so much. Wish you guys luck inside all your music career endeavors and everything else. Just thank you guys so much, and happy birthday to me.
What's that?